Welcome to episode 26 of Everything Pro Wrestling. We're going to do a quick review of NXT Takeover The End review. With me tonight, Ice. Ice, say what's up.
What's going on, everybody?
Me and Ice actually just watched it together on PlayStation. Ice, overall thoughts on the show real quick, man, while we got you in here.
I mean, it was NXT. It's a takeover event. They always bring it. I can't think of one that I've seen where I was disappointed. Excuse me. This one had great moments. A lot of things I did not see coming tonight happened, and overall, it was a great show.
All right, well, opens up with a cool video package. Fans are chanting NXT. Opening match is Ty Dillinger versus Andrade. I don't even know how to say this. Andrade Almas, right? That's as good as it gets. So I hear his name pronounced on NXT. They had an opening match. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good match. I thought Ty Dillinger was more over than the newcomer actually in this match, making his debut. I thought Ty Dillinger stood out very well. And what did you think, guys?
Yeah, Ty definitely is over with the crowd with this perfect 10 thing. I don't know why, but he just is. Almost. I got to see some more from him. His debut was pretty solid. There were some good spots in the match, but overall, I need to see more. Coming out looking like D'Lo Brown when he was tagging with the Godfather isn't gonna cut it for me. Like, you're gonna have to. Dude, I'm telling you, there's a Survivor Series, if you go back and look, D'Lo Brown and the Headbangers are dressed exactly like that when they team with the Godfather. But
that is awful.
It was a pretty solid match, but I do need to see more from this guy before I get on that fan train.
Yeah, I think he might be more suited for tag team wrestling, just so they can be with someone who's over, that may be losing their lust.
No way, Jose. No way.
That's what I think. No way Jose's over. This guy has the talent. I think it could work. We get to the next match. NXT Tag Team Championship match. American Alpha versus the Revival. Oh, man, there's so much good stuff in this match. I don't even know where to start, man. Went crazy. I was surprised, actually, by the outcome of this match and everything that took place in it. Ice, give your thoughts. Give your thoughts, man.
Oh man, it was almost like watching one of those old school tag team matches from the '80s, whereas back in the territory days, you had this tag team, the fans are loving them, they're red hot. And you had this other tag team coming in, the Revival. They're looking like the man, I want to say the Brain Busters. That's what they're looking like. They're looking just like Ole and we got kind of like Ole and Arn or something going on. And the fans can't stand them, but they back up everything they say in that ring, and it was so many amazing moments where you just knew one team had it, the other team it was all over, and then no, we got you, nope, we're still fighting, and then that last part of the match, you thought the comeback had been made. American Alphas were going to retain, and out of nowhere, the Revival rises again.
They definitely had some very cool spots in the match. I like the American Alpha. I believe it was Gable was on the shoulders. They looked like they were going to do a move, and he belly-to-belly suplexes. I don't remember if it was Dash or Dawson. Whatever, it was one of the two. That spot looked amazing. Same thing, they got me, man. They hit us with the Big Cass and Enzo finish. That's what I'm going to call it for NXT. Like, your hopes got so high, and then they crushed them. And congrats to Dash and Dawson on being the first ever two-time any champs in NXT. Well-deserved. And we'll get to after the match here real quick. After the match, two big guys come out, and they're wearing black. They got the tank tops on. I called them the Samoa SWAT team that came out. I probably shouldn't have did that. But they come out two big burly dudes and just start whooping on American Alpha like it's no one's business. And the shocker part was who shows up? Paul Ellering, the former manager of Legion of Doom. So, and I know his daughter's been wrestling down there
And
recently.
and for those of you who aren't old enough, Paul Ellering also was the manager of DOA, the Disciples of Apocalypse, for a very, very short time back in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, I was very surprised. These guys, they reminded me a lot of 3 Minute Warning. They came through and put a good beat down on American
They
Alpha. I like it.
they wrecked shop. I was like, good lord.
And Ice, I do have one question for you. The American Alpha losing this match, is this a sign that they're being called up, or am I thinking too deep into this? Because some people mentioned it in the group on Facebook that they think American Alpha is going to the main roster.
Um, I think American Alpha has to have that tiebreaker finish, and they also have to address this team that took them out. Now, hopefully, American Alphas don't go up to the main roster because not until they feel like they're ready. Because there's a lot of tag teams right now on the main roster, but the only one that really stands out is the New Day. Enzo and Cass are doing their thing, but until until Enzo's cleared, it's whatever, whatever. The Vault villains, I'm hoping they can get over enough, even as heels, because I don't want them to fall into the Ascension vortex, where you end up on the main roster and all you end up doing is putting over every new or every any makeshift tag team they can find, just because we have nothing else for you to do.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with them. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with some of these talents. Next match, I think we both dubbed this match of the night: Shinsuke Nakamura versus Austin Aries. You get a cool video package showing what led up to it, how both guys want to be the best in NXT. They want to do their thing. Aries and Nakamura make their great entrances. The fans are humming Nakamura's theme. This guy is Sami Zayn over. It's crazy. He definitely has a big following. Um, this match was just great, man. Lots of back and forth, and I think Aries proved what he needed to in this match. Everyone was wondering, does Aries still have it? Can he help? And Aries put Nakamura over like a champ.
Dude, that match was amazing from start to finish, and it let us see these guys in a different light because for the whole time they've been in NXT, all we've ever seen is them dominate the competition. So it was nice to actually see Nakamura have to figure his way out of a tight spot, or Austin Aries have to figure his way out of, you know, Nakamura strong style. Um, but that end segment where it just went from
The dive.
the the Kinshasa from the top rope to the back of the head into like the regal plex into another Kinshasa to the face was like crazy. So
And even before that, for him to take that the Death Valley driver on the apron,
on the apron,
very
mind you, this was a move rumored to be banned in WWE for the longest time. And we saw it at NXT done on the absolute hardest part of the ring. The
I couldn't believe the dive Aries took to the floor, which set up his
oh,
basically his failure when he hit his chin on the guardrail there. I thought he lost some teeth after he did that. But
sure he was gonna spit out chiclets. And
yeah,
his teeth were gonna be everywhere. Oh man, excuse me. Been a long day, man.
yeah,
That the but yeah, that signified the end for Austin Aries when he hit that guardrail, and then it's just two strong kneecaps later. Nakamura will be facing Samoa Joe at some point in time for the
I
NXT
think at
title.
NXT Brooklyn's where you do it. If you're gonna do it right away, I think that's the next challenger. We
Yeah,
get to the NXT Women's Championship match. We got Asuka versus Nia Jax. Um, let me start the match off by saying this. I thought this was a good match. It was just it was in the bad spot though. After coming off that match, then you still have the main event in the steel cage. So Asuka, Nia Jax did very well. I think Nia Jax actually proved a lot more than Asuka did. Asuka, I expected this performance from, but she held her own. But Nia Jax, actually, this was probably her best match today. She looked really good in the match. She seemed very confident in the ring for once, as opposed to when she fought Bayley in London. She didn't seem as confident. She seemed kind of like, oh, I hope I don't make a mistake, or let me make sure I'm doing everything right. What did you think of the women's contest?
I mean, once again, NXT shines where other places fail, especially in their women's division. To have such a, uh, I guess, David versus Goliath setup with Asuka versus Nia Jax, and it just comes down to Asuka literally having to knock out Nia Jax to keep her down for the 3 count was pretty impressive. There are not, like you said, Nia Jax has improved tremendously since her last takeover match against Bayley, and I think she has the potential to become one of, if not the greatest NXT or even WWE women's champions in history.
Yeah, I think Nia Jax's time is still going to come. Right now, I think Asuka's got to be the one walking around with the title, and I could see her maybe having a rematch with Bayley in Brooklyn. I think that's what it's building towards. And even then, maybe I'd like to see Bayley on the main roster after that. I think it would be time for a good call up for her, but that's just me speaking. If they do it right, but Asuka retains in a good match. You get a nice backstage segment after this. I don't want to forget this. Backstage, we see William Regal being interviewed by someone, and then there's kind of like Bobby Roode walks by and goes into a room, out one of the stagehands and whispers in Regal's ear that someone wants to meet with him, and then he basically excuses himself and goes into the room to talk. So who knows where that's going to lead to with Bobby Roode coming into NXT, if that's big things. But what do you see coming from it?
Oh man, come on, you get Bobby Roode and NXT. I kind of wish James Storms was here. Don't know what happened to him, but with that's a tremendous signing, dude. You're talking about a guy who can work in the ring, who can work on the mic. I mean, dude, I don't know how WWE is pulling this off. I don't know what sorcery they're using. I don't know. Maybe money, because I heard there's not a lot of that being spent over in TNA. But to keep getting these top tier, like you're taking top tier talent from a company who's like had these excellent wrestlers and just squandered them, and now you're bringing them in here and you're showcasing them at NXT, and they are killing it. And then the thing is, it's so many of them that you don't even notice when you don't see one because you're looking at another one. So if there's a night where Samoa Joe's not there, but Austin Aries is, you're not even paying attention to it because Austin Aries is here. Or if Nakamura is here and Finn Balor is, you're not paying attention because you're like, man, it's so many stars, and they've learned to put a balance to it. So adding Bobby Roode to that, dude, it's set up for success. The only thing I think though is they will probably need, with all the talent they're bringing in, they're probably going to need NXT mid card title, so to speak. But only time will tell to see how they want to do it.
Yeah, I would even think of maybe giving a title that tributes to Dusty. TNA's in big trouble, man. SmackDown moving to Tuesday nights. I know my show's going through problems, but if I'm going through problems, TNA's definitely going through some problems because Do they move nights again? How many times are you going to keep moving around? Like, I feel like WWE is diminishing their audience purposely. Like, yeah, it's almost over, guys. And then you're going to sell us the tape library. I don't want to see that happen. I think TNA is a great company that I wouldn't say a great company. Let me rephrase that. TNA needs to be competition towards WWE, so WWE gets better. They don't think they're the only game in town, but they've got so much stuff going on right now that it's crazy. I got nothing else to say about it. I mean, we can get into it more on another episode, but it's
Yeah.
just crazy right now how many different things are going on with WWE. You got the draft, you got SmackDown going live, NXT's killing it. Raw's got their own storylines. You got Cena, AJ. This stuff doesn't end right now.
And oh,
And
by the way, since you made me wait till now, there are rumors stating that either Finn or Nakamura or even Joe may be coming up to the main roster sometime soon to join the club. Now, how true that may be, because there are rumors that they do want to add maybe one or two more members to the club, but WWE is in the position to do something New Japan never could, and that's have AJ Styles and Finn Balor in the club at the exact same time, running roughshod over whoever. So hopefully these rumors are true, and we can at least get Finn, and then if we can get Finn Balor and maybe one guy from the main roster, I'd take a guy who's not even been taken serious this whole time, kind of switch him up, and then make him a serious character just for the club. Maybe Zack Ryder.
there's lots of potential right now in WWE. They just have to play this stuff off right, man. Triple H is giving you the golden key. Do not mess this up, WWE. We get to the final match of the night. Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, first time ever in NXT steel cage match. We start off, we were all wondering, are we getting Demon Balor? Is it just going to be regular Finn? We got Demon Balor, number one. Demon Balor comes out, and he actually changed up the colors, wearing the black and white. So I don't know if that was a tribute to anything, or if he was doing it just because, or if it was because of the colors for NXT takeovers are black and white. But he came out, very cool entrance, pushing over the cage, does the demon crawl, gets into the cage, very cool. This steel cage structure as well was massive. It looked cool how it came down, it floated over perfectly. And this cage looked like one of those ones you didn't want to get thrown into. This looked like the old school hard cage, like this thing had no give to it in the middle. Joe comes out, normal, I'm going to beat you down entrance. Very cool to see it. This match had a lot of hard hitting, and in all the championship bouts, the formal introductions with the spotlights on the wrestlers, the champions, and everything else. Very, very, very cool that how they did that. Ice, what did you think of the match overall? Let you recap that.
Oh man, the match overall. I mean, you saw this was two men embroiled in a war over the NXT championship. Mind you, just what 4 or 5 months ago, these two won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Invitational Tournament.
Yep.
And then once that was all over, the true agenda of Samoa Joe was revealed, which is I want to be NXT champion. No different than what happened to Sami Zayn from Kevin Owens, but this just shows you that Samoa Joe is here to compete. He's not here to be friends. He's not here to make friends. He's here to be the champion. He's here to be the best. Finn Balor, who's been here for the longest time at NXT, I think it's now about that time to where he makes his journey into the next level, which is going to the main roster. Now, do you do that right away? Do you wait till the pay per view? Who knows? But I think it's now time to capitalize on Finn Balor, excuse me, and take him to the main roster because Finn Balor is going to be, he's going to be one of your next big stars. I don't know who exactly you can compare him to. Maybe Shawn Michaels with his athleticism, Maybe you can compare him to like Eddie Guerrero with the way he does his high flying. But it's time for Finn to move on to the next level. Let Joe and those guys take care of NXT because eventually they'll be coming up too, and then they'll be the next level. They'll be the next generation of superstars for the next few years.
Yeah, amazing ending to this match too, where it looked like Finn debated on whether he should jump off the top or go for the win. And I think when he finally decided, I'm just going to go for the win, forget it. Joe catches him, grabs him, slams his head against the side, and puts him in a muscle buster from the top rope, or well, from the second rope maybe. I don't remember even where it was, but jumps off and it's a super muscle buster, man. You knew it was done after that. No one kicks out of that. And just a great ending. Joe is the man. I've enjoyed Joe since Ring of Honor. He definitely is one of the best. I'm glad he's the NXT champ. And it leaves you just wondering, where does NXT go from here and what happens? Nobody knows. But I think that's a good spot to end this here. If you got any shout-outs, Ice, feel free to give them now.
Usually, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, PlayStation, all that fun stuff.
Well, folks, I got nothing else to say. Make sure you check this out on the WWE Network. It's worth the $9.99 price alone. Don't be cheap, man. I'm telling you, the NXT takeovers are always fun. Shout outs to everybody in the Everything Pro Wrestling Facebook group. Shout outs to Popo for recently doing the show. Shout outs to Doc G from PM Dawn. And shout outs to Anthe Gamer for coming on the show. And you know what? And shout out to my man Franchise Play. If he's got some WWE 2K17 content up with some interviews recently, check out his site too. And I'm out, folks. Thank you.